Hi, and thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the GP fees module in our value-add apartment acquisition model. Now, prior to this version, and this module was added in version 0.6, prior to that, the model did allow you to underwrite asset management fees. But A, it didn't allow you to turn that off, and so you had to really just zero out your asset management fee assumptions. And secondly, it didn't include acquisition fees or disposition fees. And so based on input from our users, I've gone ahead and added this module. And so I'm going to show you first how to use the module, and then I'll show you where the calculations are done in the event that you want to either adopt this technique for your own model or make adjustments to this, modify it for your specific purposes. So you'll find the module on the underwriting tab, as you'd expect. And how it works is you come to the waterfall, and that's where the fees are deducted from the cash flow. So at the property level, these fees don't go into account. They're not included in your project budget. They're not excluded or they're not removed from any of your operating cash flows. You get to a property level unlevered cash flow line or a property level levered cash flow line. That's the bottom line of your property level cash flows. Those flow into your partnership level cash flows, and it's at this point that we deduct these fees from the partnership's distributions. Okay, so in other words, the GP and the LP together are paying for these GP fees. Now, you can first, so here's the module in this section here. You can turn the module off simply by toggling this include an analysis question to no. And when you do that, no fees are included, and you can see that here. Row 237, GP fees, it's 0. If we then toggle this back to yes, what we'll see now is we have a combination of asset management, acquisition, and disposition fees now flowing into this GP fees line. And again, now you're going to see the returns for the LP are diluted because these fees are being paid largely by the LP, because the LP is 90% in this case of the partnership. Now, to adjust those assumptions, we have first asset management. And the asset management fees can either be a percentage of LP equity, the amount of equity, right, that the LP has contributed to the partnership, or a percentage of EGR. And then this is the percentage, and you can see then the resulting approximation of asset management fees on a monthly basis. And you can choose to either accrue these fees. So in the event that you have a month where there are insufficient operating cash flows to cover the fee, the unpaid fees can either accrue and then be repaid at a future period, or in this case, no. So if there is insufficient cash flow to pay an asset management fee, that fee just is not paid. And then we also have acquisition fees, or an acquisition fee, and that's paid at the time when, and if we come up here to our investment cash flows, at whatever month that the last month of your total acquisition costs. And so more than likely that's going to be times 0, and it's based off of the total acquisition cost. So you'll have a purchase price plus some closing costs, and the acquisition fee is assumed to be a percentage of that total. And again, if you want to change that, if you want to modify the model, you could, for instance, work it off of, say, this line item. But in my case, I assume that it's off of total acquisition costs. And then disposition fee, it's a percentage of the gross sales price. And the gross sales price can be found here. And so it's simply 1% or whatever percentage you put in this cell multiplied by that disposition or the gross sales price, gross sale proceeds, charged to the partnership at the analysis end month, or the month in which there's the sale. And so those are the GP fees. Now, if you want to adjust these, first off, on the front end, right, you can see them here, but you'll notice if you click in this cell that this simply links to EX197. And so that's over here off to the far right. We have our calculations section. So I just scroll out to the right. And in this kind of dotted area, this is our calculation section. And right here is where we see all of these fees being charged. Asset management, acquisition, disposition, and out here to the right, we can track those here's our acquisition fee, and then we continue out to the right, we're going to see our disposition fee here. And then those sum up to a total GP fees, and that flows then into our waterfall as GP fees, right? So we have gross cash flow available for distribution here. Any GP fees gives us our net cash flow available for distribution. And then period 0, there's no positive cash flow. Therefore, it's a negative amount available for distribution. That becomes a contribution in our waterfall. And so that's, and again, if you were to make any adjustments, this is where those adjustments would be. So that is the GP fees module in our value add apartment acquisition model. Please let me know if you have any questions while you're playing around with this. Otherwise, thanks for your time.